Japan. The land of the rising sun, or a land of the future? Hello, I'm Martin Jones, and I'm here to delve into Japan's cultural distinction, from its technological prowess to its traditional upkeep. We're here with the students of Gungahlin College, and we're going on a trip to explore the culturally magnificent nation that is Japan. To begin our adventure, we speak to Michiko Baba, Japanese teacher at Gungahlin College. She gives us an initial overview of Japan's changing culture. As a former resident, it's interesting to hear her opinions on the changes Japan has undertaken in the recent past. So, in terms of Japanese culture, do you think it's different today than it was, say, 20 years ago?
Definitely. Less traditional. So, it's in the past, we see the Japanese culture or less festival types as well. For example, New Year's. In the past, 3 days, no shops. We just do like a meeting family together and then celebrate with gathering the relatives and then going to the shrine. But nowadays, we don't do much about it. Even the shops are open 1st of January. It's more commercialized, and also I'm not sure, but definitely less traditional, more Western influence.
Japan's modern era began in the late 19th century. It was at this point that the term Wakon Yousai was introduced. This term is extremely helpful for defining the state Japan has been in for some time now. The meaning of this term is roughly translated as Japanese spirit, Western technology. Do you think that's a good thing? Or?
In a way, a little bit sad. And if you travel to everywhere, it's every city is similar. Like I haven't been in New York, but Los Angeles, Australia, Sydney, and in Tokyo, it's all in high buildings and looks similar. So that part is I feel a little bit sad. But I think inevitable, 21st centuries, due to the technology and advanced technology development, we got so much influence from other countries. So that's sad, but good thing is if you think about our lives, it's so much easier and so much advantage as well.
Tokyo, the heart of Japan, has been seen as a symbol of advanced technology for many years, and at a first glance, you can see that this could very well be the city of the future. By simply walking through the streets, it feels like the city is evolving. The city's essence lies in the grandeur scale of the futuristic aspects present in the city. Tokyo, a beautiful city that interprets Japan's culture in a very unique way. From our experiences here, we've seen that Japan is not only a symbol for modernization, but also for technology and innovation. However, tomorrow, we'll be seeing another side of Japan, a side that's much more intimate and traditional. During our time in Takayama, we seek out information on Japanese history. We speak to a local tour guide at a historical landmark, a specialist on the way Japan once was and the culture that existed in the distant past. We hear her opinions on what changes have occurred. As the generations go on, why do you think the culture has been forgotten?
Because we have a lesson at school, but still, if you don't have any chance to come on this type of the historical place in their daily life, it's difficult to keep how the importance of this historical things. Okay, the culture. I think that maybe the Japanese culture that will be divided into two parts. One is a very modern thing, including technology or the animation things, and the other thing is a very traditional culture like here. And it's not for the growing something, but something to keep and hand it down to the next generation. So for our the role, I guess maybe to keep the maintain this building and also welcome the customers so that they repeat coming here. So it would be the important.
Japan's traditional side is built upon a rich history that stretches back thousands of years. Japan is filled to the brim with amazing culturally significant and historical sites. Temples, shrines, castles, and even houses are very important to the Japanese culture and hold so much of what Japan is. One city in particular catches our eye: Nara. To receive an adequate reflection of the Japanese culture, we ask a local Nara high school teacher on his thoughts about the traditions the Japanese people uphold and the presence of technology in their lives. So in the school environment, how do you think the modernization is present in everyday?
That's a good question. I think modernization in the school system is the school itself is probably one of the last horizons for the modern world, I think, in this country. The teaching methodologies are reasonably antiquated, quite old, I think. And there's not a lot of technology used in the classroom, as we might see at Gungahlin and other schools in Australia. As you would have noticed, we're still using blackboards and chalk, and the students are generally sitting in single seats, and it's very teacher-focused. So despite the fact that we have IT classes, computer classes, once or twice a week for the students, there isn't a lot of technology integrated into the learning process. And here in Japan, people generally love a fad, a trend. So if there's a new gadget or even a new application or those kinds of things that come out, people are very quick to jump on these kinds of things. As a result, they often also drop off very quickly too, so they might be very popular for a short period of time, for a year or two, but they can drop off quite quickly too. So I think it's quite a fickle society in that regard. People are quick to jump on things, but also probably will discard them if they don't live up to their expectations. Yeah.
So do you think that sort of stuff, all the traditional festivals and traditions are sort of dying out with the modernization?
No, I don't think so. I think Japan is very good at keeping its traditions in check, despite the fact society moves on. I think the history is respected, and those kinds of traditions are very well respected. So I see lots of young people attending those kinds of festivals. Perhaps there are little quirks to the festivals that are being modernized, like even though the girls might be wearing their yukata, they have a certain trend each year. It could be a frilly bow, or it could be the corsage, or it could be the hairstyle. So those things are respected along the way, but I don't see those kinds of traditions dying out anytime soon. I think the young people are just as gung-ho about seeing those traditions survive.
As our trip comes to a close, we reflect on what we have learned and the time that has been. We can now see that Japan is not only a country affected by intense modernization, but also a country that keeps its traditional values at a high standard. This is Wakon Yousai.